everyone, welcome to AFS Hackers. I'm Afshan, and as you guys know, we are working on the pre-security learning path of TryHackMe. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the OSI model room of TryHackMe. So let's learn about the fundamental networking framework that determines the various stages in which data is handled across a network. So let's start. So this room has 10 tasks. So let's start with the first task. What is OSI model? The OSI model, or Open Systems Interconnection Model, is an absolute fundamental model used in networking. This critical model provides a framework dictating how all network devices will send, receive, and interpret data. One of the main benefits of the OSI model is that devices can have different functions and design on a network while communicating with other devices. Data sent across a network that follows the uniformity of the OSI model can be understood by the other devices. The OSI model consists of 7 layers, which are illustrated in the diagram below. Each layer has a different set of responsibilities and is arranged from layer 7 to layer 1. So it is a very important question in interview perspective, like you have to learn this particular model. At every individual layers that data travels through, a specific process take place. A pieces of information are added to this data, which is what we will come to discuss in the upcoming task within this room. However, for now, we only need to understand that this process is called encapsulation and what the OSI model looks like in the diagram below. So the first layer is physical, second is data link, third is network layer, fourth is transport layer, fifth is session layer, and sixth is presentation layer, and seventh is an application layer. So answer the question below. What does the OSI in OSI model stand for? That is Open Systems Interconnection. Let's copy it and paste it here. Let's submit the answer. Yes, it is correct. Okay, how many layers in digits does the OSI model have? So that is 7 layers. So the next question is, what is the key term for when pieces of information get added to the data? So that is encapsulation. Let's copy it and paste it here. Let's submit the answer. Yes, it is correct. Task 2 is layer 7, that is application layer. The application layer of the OSI model is the layer that you will be most familiar with. This familiarity is because the application layer is the layer in which protocols and rules are in place to determine how the user should interact with data sent or received. Everyday applications such as email clients, browsers, or file server browsing software such as FileZilla provide a friendly graphical user interface, or GUI, for users to interact with data sent or received. Other protocols include DNS, that is domain name system, which is how website addresses are translated into IP addresses. As you guys know, this is the basic browser, and right now we are using our browser, so it is comes under the application layer. So let's see the question. What is the name of this layer? That is application. And what is the technical term that is given to the name of the software that user interact with? That is graphical user interface. So let's copy it and paste it here. Submit the answer. Okay, yes, it is correct. Layer 6 is presentation layer. Layer 6 of the OSI model is the layer in which standardization start to take place. Because software developers can develop any software such as an email client differently, the data still needs to be handled in the same way, no matter how the software works. This layer acts as a translator for a data to and from the application layer. The receiving computer will also understand data sent to a computer in one format distinct for in another format. For example, when you send an email, the other user may have another email client to you, but the contents of the email will still need to display the same. Security features such as data encryptions like HTTPs when visiting a secure site occur at this layer. Okay. So what is the main purpose of this layer act as? Let's see the hint. This layer translates data from one format to another. So it is translator. Let's copy it and paste it here. Yes, it is correct. Layer 5 is session layer. Let's see. Once data has been correctly translated or formatted from the presentation layer, the session layer will begin to create a connection to the other computer that the data is destined for. When a connection is established, a session is created. Whilst this connection is active, so is the session. The session layer synchronizes the two computers to ensure that they are on the same page before data is sent and received. Once these checks are in place, the session layer will begin to divide up data sent into a smaller chunk of data and begin to send these chunks or packets on at a time. This dividing up is beneficial because if the connection is lost, only the chunks that were not yet sent will have to send again, not the entire piece of data. What is worthy of nothing is that sessions are unique, meaning that data cannot travel over different sessions, but in fact only across each session instead. So basically, once data is translated, like session layer will create a connection to other computer that data is destined for. So let's see the question. What is the name of this layer? That is session layer. Let's copy it and paste it here. Submit the answer. Yes, it is correct. What is the technical term for when a connection is usually established? That is session. What is the technical term for small chunk of data? That is packets. Let's write packets. Yes, it is correct. Task 5 is transport layer. Layer 4 of the OSI model plays a vital part in transmitting data across network and can be little bit difficult to grasp. When data is sent between devices, it follows one of two different protocols that are decided based upon several factors. The first protocol is TCP, the second protocol is UDP. Let's begin with TCP, the Transmission Control Protocol. Potentially hinted by the name, this protocol is designed with reliability and guarantee in mind. Not only this, but TCP incorporates error checking into its design. Error checking is how TCP can guarantee that data sent from the small chunks in a session layer, that is layer 5, has then been received and reassembled in the same order. Let's summarize the advantage and disadvantage of TCP in a table below. So advantages of TCP, that is guarantees the accuracy of data, capable of synchronizing two devices to prevent each other from being flooded with data, performs a lot more process for reliability. And disadvantage of TCP is requires a reliable connection between the two devices. If one small chunk of data is not received, then the entire chunk of data cannot be used. A slow connection can bottleneck another device as the connection will be reserved on the receiving computer the whole time. TCP is significantly slower than UDP because more work has to be done by the devices using this protocol. TCP is used for the situations such as file sharing, internet browsing, or sending an email. This usage is because these services require the data to be accurate and complete. No good having half a file. In this diagram below, we can see how a picture of a dog is broken down into small pieces of data known as packets from the web servers where the computer reconstruct the picture of the dog into the correct order. So as you guys can see, this is a web server and in computer we are downloading this dog picture. Now let's move on to the user datagram protocol or UDP for short. This protocol is not nearly as advanced as its brother, the TCP protocol. It doesn't boost the many features offered by TCP, such as error checking and reliability. In fact, any data that gets sent via UDP is sent to the computer whether it gets there or not. There is no synchronization between the two devices or guarantee. Just hope for the best and fingers crossed. Whilst this sound disadvantageous, it does have its merits, which we will lay out in the table below. The advantage of UDP, the first advantage is UDP is much faster than TCP, and UDP leaves the application layer user software to decide if there is any control over how quickly packets are sent. UDP does not reserve a continuous connection on a device as TCP does. Disadvantages of UDP are UDP doesn't care if the data is received. it is quite flexible to software developer in this sense. This means that unstable connections result in a terrible experience for the user. Using the same example as before, we can now see the only packet 1 and 3 have been received by the computer, meaning the half of the image is missing. So this protocol doesn't care about like whether the data is properly sent or not. UDP is useful in situation where there are small pieces of data being sent. For example, protocols used for discovering devices, that is ARP and DHCP that we discussed in room 2, or large files such as video streaming where it is okay if some part of the video is pixelated. Pixels are just lost pieces of data. So let's answer the question below. What is the name of this layer? That is transport layer. And what does TCP stand for? That is transmission control protocol. Let's copy it, transmission control protocol, and paste it here. Submit the answer. What does UDP stand for? That is user datagram protocol. Let's copy it and paste it here. And what protocol guarantee the accuracy of data? That is TCP. Let's submit the answer. Yes, it is correct. What protocol doesn't care if data is received or not by the other device? That is UDP. Okay, what protocol would an application such as an email client use? And we will use TCP for that. What protocol would an application that downloads file use? TCP. Yes, that is correct. We don't want missing pixel, right? What protocol would an application that stream video use? That is UDP. Okay. Layer 3 is a network layer. Let's see. The third layer of OSI model is where the magic of routing and reassembly of data takes place from these small chunks to the large chunk. Firstly, routing simply determines the most optimal path in which these chunks of data should be sent. Whilst some protocols at this layer determine exactly what is the optimal path that data should take to reach a device, we should only know about their existence at this age of the networking module. Briefly, these protocols include OSPF, that is Open Shortest Path First, and RIP, that is Routing Information Protocol. The factor that decide what route is taken is decided by the following. What path is the shortest and has the least amount of devices that the packet needs to travel across? What path is the most reliable? Have packets been lost on the path before? Which path has the faster physical connection? Is one path using a copper connection that is slower, or a fiber that is considerably faster? At this layer, everything is dealt with via IP address such as 192.168.1.100. Devices such as routers capable of delivering packets using IP addresses are known as layer 3 devices because they are capable of working at the third layer of the OSI model. Remember it, guys, that devices such as routers capable of delivering packets using IP addresses are known as layer 3 devices. So question like, what are the layer 3 devices? One of the interviewer asked me this question. What is the name of this layer? That is network layer. Copy it, paste it here, submit the answer. Will packets take the most optimal route across a network? Yes. What does the acronym OSPF stand for? So that is Open Shortest Path First. Let's copy it and paste it here, submit the answer. What does the acronym RIP stand for? That is Routing Information Protocol. Let's copy it and paste it here, submit the answer. Okay. What type of addresses are dealt with at this layer? That is IP address. Submit the answer. Yes, it is correct. Okay. Layer 2 is data link. The data link layer focuses on the physical addressing of the transmission. If it receives a packet from the network layer, including the IP address of the remote computer, and adds in the physical, that is MAC address, or media access control address of the receiving endpoint. Inside every network enabled computer is a network interface card or NIC, which comes with a unique MAC address to identify it. MAC addresses are set by the manufacturer and literally burnt into the card. They can't be changed, although they can be spoofed when information is sent across a network. It's actually the physical address that is used to identify where exactly to send the information. Additionally, it's also the job of the data link layer to present the data in a format suitable for transmission. So what is the name of this layer? That is data link layer. Let's copy it and paste it here. Submit the answer. Yes. What is the name of the pieces of hardware that all network devices comes with? Let's see the hint. NIC, that is network interface card. Let's copy it and paste it here. Submit the answer. Okay, so layer 1 is physical layer. Let's see. This layer is one of the easiest layer to grasp. Put simply, this layer references the physical components of the hardware used in networking and is the lowest layer that you will be find. Devices use electrical signals to transfer data between each other in a binary numbering system, that is zeros and ones. For example, Ethernet cables connecting devices, such as in the diagram. These are the Ethernet cable. And let's answer the question below. What is the name of this layer? That is physical layer. What is the name of the numbering system that is both zeros and ones? That is binary numbering system. Yes. What is the name of the cable that are used to connect devices? So that is Ethernet cables. Let's copy it. Yes, it is correct. Let's start with the task 9, that is practical OSI game. Can you escape the OSI dungeon? Climb the levels in the correct order to escape the dungeon and reveal the flag. Can you beat our staff high score of 19 seconds? Okay, click the view site button on the right to start. Okay, our hacker has been locked in the dungeon. Their only chance of the freedom is by choosing the correct path based on the OSI model. Use your cursor keys to move left and right and the space bar to enter doors. Okay, let's play. So he's a hacker. Let's go to the physical layer first and enter. Okay. Next layer is data link layer. That is network layer. Enter. Okay, transport layer. Next layer is session layer, presentation layer, and the 7th layer is application layer. 58.80 seconds. Okay, let's copy it and paste it here. Let's submit the answer. Okay, it is correct. Okay, continue learning packets and frames. Okay, so we have successfully completed the OSI model room of TryHackMe, and it is a very important room actually, and it is a very important concept in networking, and many interviewer will ask you this particular question, like explain OSI model and each layer, a description and all the stuff like related to networking. So it is a really important model to understand, and as an interview perspective, you are in cybersecurity, then obviously you need to understand networking and its concept. I hope you like this video, guys. If you did, then share this video with your friends and colleagues, and yes, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll see you in my next video. Till then, take care and keep hacking.